Well, I mean, I have to apologize to the group that we have here right now. When I was asked to come and speak at a graduation, I thought we were finally talking about Mario's long-awaited graduation.
Very good.
Gabriel, Patrick, DeAngelis.
The third.
Graduate, 2002, Skyline High School. 2020. We're going to actually get on notes now. For those that don't know Gabe, let me share a couple of thoughts about this extraordinary young man. Gabe is an Eagle Scout, a member of the National Honor Society, a community volunteer, a damn fine chess player, an avid Dungeons & Dragons gamer, a 3.9 graduate and recipient of a full academic scholarship to the University of Utah. You know, it's even when Gabe was young, he showed an incredible sense of curiosity, a tenacity, a strength, wisdom beyond his years, and a kid that's always asked the really hard questions. As he's grown older, these characteristics have grown with him, expanded, and helped develop him into the fine young man we have here today. You know, everything about Gabe has been incredible, mostly because of the adventures he shared with both his parents right here. You know, from skiing the mountains of around the Salt Lake City, hiking the hills of the Wasatch, adventures throughout Europe, throughout the United States, into Mexico. Gabe has explored more of the world than most of us would ever hope to, and he's done it with an enthusiasm, a zest, and a real zeal for life, a real esprit de corps that's sort of reflective of who this kid is. You know, one of the other things that, you know, in composing my thoughts about this is that I think it's really cool that your dad is a videographer and a filmmaker, and that you've been able to spend time with him while he's been making these movies, documentaries, because if you need to be looking into the future, the things that could benefit you can be all found on a film set. It takes place with story. It has to do with the technical aspects with it. It involves looking into the details of a project as well as having a passion for getting it done. And from all the conversations we've ever had with you, you know, you've actually incorporated these, you know, fine characteristics into every endeavor you've done. I was always really impressed with the fact that you're an Eagle Scout. I've always been impressed that you've worked. And I've impressed that through all of this, you've never lost focus of one of the most important thing, which was your studies. And that 3.9 GPA from high school that led to your next career going into the University of Utah is extraordinary.
Or ASU, we haven't.
Or, fingers crossed, we'll do an opening sandwich for that. You know, but I think, you know, as we've always been really lucky to have Heather Bush and Tim open up their home for us. And when we come here, this characteristic about you that I've appreciated the most throughout all is your curiosity. You have this just eagle eye for things, and you know, and this unbound desire to learn more about the world. And frankly, I think people who are curious are the ones that are going to make a real difference in this world. You know, I mean, anything from like, how do you frame a picture to how do you save for retirement? How do you meet people? How do you, you know, how do you run for office? How do you get a job? I mean, how to make a perfect Manhattan? You know, it's like, I always said that I'd go with anybody on a long road trip as long as that person's curious, because they're the ones that are going to make that adventure worthwhile. These are going to serve you incredibly well as you get older. You know, and as, before I kind of get into the last notes, I think it's really important right now that you did not get here by yourself. You know, what happened is that you have two sets of incredible parents that have made this worth, you know, that really helped shape you into the man that you are today. You know, and so before we go any further, I'd like just to take a moment right now to recognize the three sets of parents that have really helped with this. Obviously, Aaliyah and Mario.
Yay!
Scott and Mary. Scott and Mary.
Scott's doing something real quick. Scott! The wrong moment.
And of course, Heather and Tim.
I didn't do anything except for get drunk.
Your pursuit of knowledge, your generous spirit, your impeccable character, and unmatched work ethic is why I'm confident through the hardships of today, a better day is just around the corner with young men like you showing us the way. So,
Yay!
oh, sorry. Step of foes.
This video.
All right. So wait, about before we get done here, though, I want to just say just a couple more thoughts to Gabe. As I remember when I graduated from high school, I had an older uncle give me some pieces of advice. And I think at the moment after we were done with that dinner, I forgot every piece of it. And so I just wanted to share just a couple of quick thoughts with you for this. But number one, remember the value of friendship, from your buddies from the Eagle Scouts, from your buddies at school, people you've met at work and stuff like that. I got to tell you, the friends you meet today hopefully can be the friends you have for a lifetime. As we look at all the friends that we have here today and joining us online, is that you'll never be alone when you have friends, and strive to be a good friend to match those with them. I'm going to encourage you to continue reading books. Read your Vonnegut, read your Hemingway, read your Edwin Morris, read your Thompson. Be a reader, stay a reader. Know that continuing education is one of the most important things that you can ever experience. Continue to travel. And I know under COVID-19, which might mean into COVID-20, that could be into COVID-28, whatever it is. But if you have the opportunity to travel, definitely take advantage of that. I'm going to encourage you also to get a hobby. Games are great and stuff, but find a hobby that costs a couple of bucks that you actually have to save money for, so you can actually go out and enjoy it. Nothing better than that is either fishing or golfing. But woodworking is a fine third alternative on that. Learn how to write a thank you note. Learn also, if you can't find the address, find their email address. But at the very least, learn how to say thank you. Continue to volunteer. And I'm not just talking about volunteering at community centers. I'm proud of you for doing that. But volunteer. Be the first one to raise your hand to do stuff. When it comes to bussing the table, for dinner, to helping have a friend move and stuff like that, you realize that the value gained from helping other people and volunteering to help them, so they don't have to come asking for it, it really means more. It will mean more to them than you could ever possibly imagine. Moving on to this next one. Make sure to be nice to children, seniors, and children. Dogs, kids, and old people. Listen to Pearl Jam. Watch John Carpenter movies. Don't drink and drive. Never vape. Know that there's a group of people that always love you, so don't make any mistakes. With younger ladies. And the final thing I would ask you to do is just remember this moment right now, because I swear to you, 18 becomes 38 in a blink of an eye, and there's not a single person here that would tell you different. Anyone who tells you that you don't have a world of possibilities ahead of you is a damn liar, because I'm here to tell you that a guy like you, there's nothing you can't do. And so, incredibly proud of you. Great job, and I can't wait to see what happens in the next part of your life.
Thank you so much. No, yeah. Thank you again. That was very kind.
Up here, on behalf of the Salt Lake County School District, Salt Lake City County, the Granite School District, as a representative for them, I want to congratulate Mr. Gabriel Patrick DeAngelis on graduation, class of 2020, Skyline High. And now, present your mother with a gift.
So I just, first of all, gonna go around and thank each person separately. So I'll start with my dad, since he's on the camera. So thank you, Dad. Oh, okay. This is sparkling cider.
This is your drunkle.
This is sparkling cider, family over there. They're not seeing this. Woo! So first of all, I want to say thank you, Dad. Your creativity, your imagination, and your drive are important. And although we've always had our differences, and sometimes we've come together, and I've gained a lot of your creativity. I use it in a lot of different ways, and I always enjoy it. And I got that from you, and so I thank you for that part of me. I'll go on and say, Mother, you have given me a level of intellect I could only dream of. You have given me a drive. You've given me someone to believe in and try to look up to and become. You've given me someone who is so able to understand their own skin that it's amazing to see. You're a wonderful person. You always strive to treat me as an equal and as a unique person. No matter what happened, no matter who I was, no matter what people said, you were truly the light that was always there no matter what. So I'm going to thank you for all that. All right, I think next, since he's over here, Drunkle Tim. I haven't known you for my entire life, but what I have learned is that you've always been someone who's treated me in a unique way, which is as a true equal and someone who almost like a, to be honest, like a big brotherly character. You've been able to have difficult conversations with me and explain it in a way that I can understand while also giving me the respect I deserve. You make Heather happy, which is a wonderful thing in itself. And you've always tried to have some fun with me and make it enjoyable. So thank you.
You've always been the perfect person to have all of these conversations with.
Thank you. I'm better than some, that's definitely, I can agree on that.
I will also agree with that. You're probably the only 18-year-old I actually want to have a conversation with.
Well, that's good to know. Thank you. Cheers for that.
Send him over more often.
Yeah, so I'm gonna say it to everyone. So, I just wanted to say I know that I've only seen you on and off from party to party, from Heather's thing to Heather's thing, but I will say, and this is to both of you and you, all three of you have been Heather's friends for years, and you've always treated me in a kind way, you've all been almost like a mother figure, always made sure that I was safe at these parties with all this drinking and all this commotion. You've always been able to make sure that I felt included while also feeling loved and not having anything ever happen. Nothing has ever happened at these parties that has ever caused me to feel unsafe, and you guys have always been there to make sure that I was well taken care of. And so I thank all three of you and the rest who are not able to be here, of Heather's friends who were able to be there for me in all cases. So I'll say something to all my family. So I know that I kind of live the farthest away, so I don't always see you guys, but I do want to thank you for all of your support. It's always been nice that you guys have always made me feel pretty included, even though we live so far away, and we're all kind of different people, and we've come together as family, and I'm very thankful of how inclusive you guys have always been for me. I know it's not easy to have someone who comes out once a year during the summer, hangs out for a couple weeks, and then you don't hear about them much again, except for on Facebook. And it's great that you guys you're so such a loving and happy family. And if you know much about my other side of the family, I don't connect much with them. And so you guys have always made me feel very included. And so I'm very honored to be a part of this family. And so thank you for everything, including the party. It would be too long to thank every single one of you, but I love all of you and I thank you for everything. So yeah. Okay, next person.
Yay!
USA. Yay! Okay, so next person. So Scott, if you're ready. Okay, I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna talk to you.
He's going around.
Oh, you can come up, or whatever. I'm just telling you.
Go.
Just come right here. Just come right here. All right. So, you are one of the people I am most thankful for. I think part of the reason is because you love me with so much unconditional love, even when you don't necessarily have to. My parents, although I love them and I know they love me no matter what, they love me. They are my parents. I am part of them, right? And so they unconditionally have to love me, but you did it because you saw something in me, and so I've always honored how much you've cared for me as your own son, and that has always been something that's wonderful. You are a wonderful person who has always been there to support me. Whenever I was feeling down, you've always been someone who's been neutral and guided me, and I've always felt out of everyone else that you've always loved me, you've always cared for me, and there's never been a moment that you weren't there for me, ever. And I thank you so much for everything that you've given me.
And we'll continue with that theme. Love you, buddy. Well, in return, I'll give you 2 pieces of advice that my dad gave me.
Okay.
I'll just pass them on to you.
Okay.
Here, take the mic. Flip it off ahead. Put it on.
It's very complicated.
Here we go.
So, 2 pieces of advice that my dad passed on to me that I'll pass on to you. First of all, the first one is pretty easy. Work hard and play hard. That'll get you through life. The second is sometimes you have to drive like a fighter pilot, so don't be afraid to hit those afterburners when you need to.
That's definitely pretty good.
And that comes from a naval fighter pilot.
That's right.
Yeah. Thank you so much. All right. So thank you again. Mary, I just want to say a comment. Thank you for always being so willing to allow Scott to come over, for allowing me to be in your home. I know I'm not your son, but you've always treated me in a very kind manner. So no matter our differences, I want to say thank you for everything. You guys have a lovely home. I've always felt well loved there, and I've always liked it. So thank you so much. Yay! And then finally, all three. Well,
Aaron in the plush.
Ben, get back in there.
Ben, get back in frame. Mario's gonna yell at me.
but I am thankful for both of you. I want to make it clear it was all three. Okay. So first of all, I just want to say, although I've also not known you as long as some of the others, I want to say that you've, to be honest, when I first met you, you kind of scared me. You were big, if I'm perfectly honest. You were big, I was small,
Much
way
smaller, yeah.
You were very loud, you were very honest, you were very strong-willed, and although that is a very great thing to have, I was very scared as a kid. I was like, oh my God, is he being nice to me? Is he mad at me? What is it? But what I realized over the years is that you were really just trying to, you were looking after me, and I was able to see how much you cared, and you were able to give me a lot of guidance, and it was very interesting to have conversations with you. I always looked forward to them. You were always strong at the wedding with Heather and Tim's wedding. You really helped me. It was kind of freaky because that's the only wedding that I really remember being a part of, really, the session. And you were someone who was very, you helped me kind of get through that, and you've helped me kind of feel stronger. And I'm a very loud person as well, and I'm very broad-shouldered, and I'm very big and loud and big and scary. And I think you're an example of how you can really be confident in yourself and show yourself, and be that loud person and still attract other people and create a lot of enjoyment. So thank you so much for everything.
Congratulations.
And your speeches are always amazing.
Good job.
Real
Thank
quick,
you.
Tim had an observation. Get a little closer to Gabe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You're the
Actually,
same.
who is bigger?
I don't know.
Yeah,
The
you're
same
you
size.
guys are the same size.
Sorry about that.
Sorry, no, there's
My
just
bad.
another-
My bad. Yeah,
Sorry.
that was not me. I didn't say that.
So Sean, as some of you may know, is my mom's boyfriend. They're very close, and he's a very kind man. I kind of have ended up knowing him a lot. He's always been a kind person in our life. So thank you so much, Sean. So I'll say that. Woo! Thank you for everything. You've been a motherly figure almost my entire life. You've been a wonderful part of my life. You've brought a lot of things that are enjoyable. You brought Tim, you brought a lot of these people in. You've created a great place for me to come, Bart. You've really, I know that I'm the closest you have to a son, and I'm very honored to be there and be a part of your life. And I've loved this little home and doing activities with you. You've always made sure that I had fun. You send me little presents and little things and the different activities, from the spy thing to different activities, hiking and making new things. You've always tried to help with my creativity and make sure that I felt loved. And we cooked and we've cleaned and we've messed stuff up, and we picked up Bart's and Lulu's poop, and we've done all and in between, and I thank you for everything. You've been a wonderful person in my life, and I thank you.
Yay!
I love you.
All
I
right.
love you too.
All right.
All right, and without further ado, I want to say thank you again to all of the family, and it was great that you guys could be a part of this, and to everyone else. And I think without further ado, I think we're going to get into party time, food. So thanks again. Woo!
Thank you.
All right. Go ahead.
Okay,
make your announcement.
I have one more thing.
Big thing. He wants to say something.
No, I need to say to my dog, I know this is stupid, but I'm still doing it. Yes.
Dog.
I love you, Sid. You're the best. You're adorable. I love you. You're a great brother, even though you're a dog. I love you very much. There. That's all. That's all. So I've had to spend hours looking at different online things and deciding, because it is my future. And although, for example, the University of Utah is the easier choice since I live there, and ASU is the more difficult but more interesting choice because it's out of state and it has a lot of interesting opportunities, I've had to make a decision. And both of them are great schools, and I feel like this is the best with all the circumstances, with the virus and everything in general. So without further ado, between the University of Utah and ASU, Mom, can I please? Okay. I am going to go to University of Utah. So having a full scholarship in between the virus and it just being a great school in general, it's just best to go to the U, and it should be an interesting and great experience. So thank you to everyone who's been a part of my life, and it should be fun. So that should be good.